Folks, this could be the best season in Denver Nuggets history, but how many wins are the Nuggets going to have through 82 games? We're going to talk about it here on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, which is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. My name is Ryan Blackburn. I'm host here at Locked On Nuggets, also over at Mile High Sports with the Pickaxe and Roll podcast. He is Matt Moore of HP Basketball, the Denver Dig, Hardwood Paroxysm, and the Buckets podcast, which is starting back up. Make sure to go get all of your awesome futures bets now as the NBA season starts getting closer. Matt, we are going to go rapid fire through this one. We've got an awesome episode planned for the folks at home today. Very excited to go through every game on the Nuggets schedule, or at least as many games as we can get through in this first episode on the Nuggets schedule and give a full prediction for the season. Are you excited about it?
Let's go, man.
It's going to be
Locked
fun.
On Celtics did this a couple of years ago, and I love the episode format of just like going through and being like, they're going to win that one, they're going to lose that one, they're going to win that one. It's just like it gets you into the mindset of looking at the matchups, thinking about how it's going to go. It's going to be great. I'm thrilled for this match. Let's go, man.
It's going to be great. So without further ado, we're going to get through as many games as we can in this first episode. If we can't get through all of them, which we're probably not going to, we will go into more of them in a future episode, either tomorrow night or the night after that. We'll see how it goes. But without further ado, let's get into it with the season opener, Matt. Thursday night, October 23rd at the Golden State Warriors. How do you see the Nuggets faring?
I have the Nuggets at a 64% chance of winning this game. I don't think the Warriors are nearly as good as their hype. I think they had a very fortunate run in that back half. That was nonsense March basketball. I like the matchup. They have been the advantage in this. I think the addition of Cam Johnson is huge. I think that the absence of Kevon Looney is going to hurt. And I like the Nuggets to go into that big fancy arena and take out the Warriors in game one, starting off 1-0.
I love this. And I think the way that we should frame this is whichever one we agree upon is the one that I'll list down so we get a final record prediction at the end, and we'll keep a running track. I agree with you. Win in Golden State. Then Denver comes home for the home opener versus the Phoenix Suns. Do you think they can take that one down?
I like the Suns this year. I read a lot about them today on Paroxysm. I actually think they're going to be pesky, but I do not think that this is it's too early for like a look ahead trap. Right. This isn't a trap game. They do have rest. They're fine there. And by the way, the Suns are on a 3rd and 4 back-to-back on that game already in altitude. Not great, Bob. I've got the Nuggets at 88%. They're going to win that game and probably by double digits.
That's an insane schedule loss for Phoenix. But who knows? Maybe that turns around. We'll see how Denver responds in those situations this year. Then they go on the road at Minnesota. First matchup on Peacock for Denver.
I have it basically a coin flip. It's 55-45, but I do have the Wolves favored in this one.
Yeah.
I think this is more of like a coin flippish game. I would give them like a half win for this, but I do think that we're going to give it all zeros or all ones. It's going to be a 0 here, as we should lose to the Wolves, considering how Minnesota's owned them.
Sure. At least for now, we'll see how it goes. But like it's just the right spot for Denver to take an L, I think. Then they go back home versus New Orleans. I think New Orleans will be healthy early in the year.
This one's weird. They've had some luck against Denver at various spots, but I'm not willing to get there here, especially at home. So I'll take the Nuggets. I've got them as a 65% chance of winning this game. So I'll take the Nuggets to go to 3-1 on the season.
Shout out Trey Murphy. Shout out Herb Jones. Then Denver goes on the road at Portland, October 31st, the final game of October.
This one feels like this one's a trap game. Like this one feels like it's like, ooh, division game on the road. Blazers might be tough. I have the Nuggets winning this one, so I'm not willing to count it as a loss, but I am a little bit worried about it.
Ooh, I was willing to count it as a loss, but we can count it as a win if you think so.
they're just so much better. If they're as good as we think they are, they should be able to handle business versus the Blazers. Like this is a game they lose last year, but not this year.
Okay, that's a good take. I like that take. Then they come back home again. They've got a couple days off this time before they face the Sacramento Kings.
Dub. A big dub. No more screwing around because it messes with Michael Malone. This team, I think, is notably worse than I think they were. I don't know what they're going to look like because I keep going like, wait. They brought in Dennis Schroeder, and they're trying to get Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I was going to say, what if they have Russ?
And they have Zach LaVine. And they have DeMar DeRozan.
Don't forget the backcourt guy that everybody wants on that team, Keon Ellis.
That's true. Like, just it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think it's a dub.
Okay. Then they play against Miami, continuing the second game of a 4-game homestand.
This is a 3-4 for the Heat. And I think the Heat are actually going to be pretty tough this year. I think Norman Powell's a big addition, and I'm a big I'm buying the late season Davion Mitchell rush. But honestly, like Bam puts so much work into it and can't do much. And I think the Nuggets actually have the perimeter defenders now to be able to mess with Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, and Davion Mitchell. So yeah, at home, I'm going to like the Nuggets here.
Interesting. Then they got Friday, November 7th versus the Golden State Warriors. Going to play them for the second time within the first 10 games.
And the Warriors were on a 3-4. This is a pretty good schedule start for them when we start looking at all these at the rest spots.
Yeah.
So yeah, at home on a team on a 3rd and 4, if I like them to win in the Bay, beating a team twice in 2 weeks is kind of tough, or 3 weeks, I guess, is going to be the kind of thing here. I should probably expect them to split with the Warriors, but I'm going to go ahead and give them the dub here, and they'll lose one of the later games to them.
Then they've got their first 3-4 versus Indiana. Not sure how that's going to be, but that's still a home game. It's a 3rd and 4, but it's all at home.
That's a loss. That feels like they're riding high. Things are good, but they're exhausted. It's a 3rd and 4. It is a home back-to-back, so that's favorable. But Indiana plays at such a fast pace, they sneak up on them and they get the win.
That is a TJ McConnell and Benedict Mathurin game. That's for sure.
Yep.
Then they've got a couple days off before they go on the road to face the Sacramento Kings.
Okay. I'm going to give them this win. They win this one.
Okay.
In Sacramento. It's a close game, but they win it.
I agree. First and foremost, that's like, I do agree with you that the Sacramento thing, it's going to be interesting if they do get Russell Westbrook. But it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But then Denver goes on the road at the Clippers. That's a second out of back-to-back over there.
Schedule loss. They fly into LA, go out that night. I don't know what day that is, but yeah,
it's a Tuesday night and then a Wednesday night game.
That's not as bad. If it was a weekend, they'd be toast. But competitive game because it's early in the season. Back-to-backs aren't as bad early in the season, but it's still enough where like I want to give the Clippers enough respect here. I also have them as really good. Like I have them as a 58% chance to win this game. So the Nuggets take the loss here.
That's perfectly fine with the way the Clippers are going to play it. Then they go at Minnesota. You go from LA to Minnesota, but you get a couple days in between.
Minnesota on a back-to-back for this one. So a little bit interesting here, I think, with how that goes down. I'm going to say the Nuggets get this one.
Okay.
They lose the first one, they get this win, and they finally they snap the streak versus the Wolves.
This will be the first win that Denver has against Minnesota since Game 5 of the second round of the 2024 playoffs.
Yep. Coming off of the loss of the Clippers at the Wolves. Yeah. I like this spot.
That's a good take right there. Couple more before we hit a break. November 17th versus the Chicago Bulls.
Bulls on the road back-to-back in Denver. No shot. Denver in a rout.
Okay. Denver's going to score 140 points in that game.
Yep.
Then Denver goes on the road, a couple of games at New Orleans on Wednesday, and then the first in-season tournament game at Houston on that Friday.
So here's what's tough is like they should beat this Pelicans game, but they're not going to beat every single team here. They're not going to beat every single team that they should beat on the road. The Pelicans, though, are on a 3-4, so it's a bad rest spot for them. But Denver has not just simply – this is Bourbon Street flu, I think.
That's okay.
Off the comfortable win, they lose the Pelicans in New Orleans.
As long as they're taking care of business on some of those other ones, like Denver doesn't win that Minnesota game last year. They don't win at Sacramento Like,
you say this now, but this is the game where afterwards you call it an unprofessional performance. That's
well, if they have been doing things well before then I'm willing to give them a little bit of rope here. Last one before we hit a break, at Houston on Friday, the first in-season tournament game.
Oh, both rested. This is a really tough one, man. I have the Nuggets favored at 58% here.
Wow.
Yeah, my numbers do not like Houston. They do not. They are unimpressed. They're like, cool, you got KD, neat. I don't think Denver wants to win the in-season tournament.
That I can guarantee, by the way.
So I'm going to go ahead and say Houston gets the win here.
Oh, man, crap. You guys take it. I guess you can go to Vegas this time. That's definitely happening. Before we hit a break, is a comment from Sigma Boy. Any Anthony Simons update? I would not consider that a real report, folks.
While being kind and respectful here, because certainly I've blabbered nonsense that I've heard that didn't wind up being true or accurate, I would just tell you, do not worry about the Anthony Simons update. It's possible that it could happen. Like, we didn't think they were going to do anything, and they did a bunch of moves this summer. There isn't a financial move that makes sense. There isn't a basketball move that makes sense. That report came out of left field. I personally am not thinking that it is likely or really serious about happening.
I think it's completely fair. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to keep running through this schedule, having a grand time here on Locked On Nuggets. All right, folks, let's talk about FanDuel. Very excited for this one. August 26th is coming up. It's officially FanDuel Features Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week one even kicks off, this is your moment. Take a flyer on the MVP race. Does seem like Lamar Jackson could bounce back and get a nice little MVP there. There's also some things you could do for the Super Bowl. You never know who's going to wind up there. It should be very interesting to see who winds up and who has the best odds that you can capitalize at FanDuel. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All right, back at it, folks. Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Would really, really appreciate it. Very excited to continue going through the schedule here with Matt. This is always fun, and I like the format of this, Matt. I think you were onto something here. This is an interesting one, and I hope fans enjoy when we kind of tell them what the schedule is and how this is going to go. I'm pretty impressed with how this is going.
It's a great start for them. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Gosh, I was trying to do a feature here for on Excel to try to update my win-loss column at the same time. It is not happening right now, so we'll keep updating that. But let's go through the schedule. Let's keep going through it here. Denver, they just lose to the Houston Rockets in the in-season tournament, but then they go on a back-to-back immediately after that, home versus, you guessed it, the Sacramento Kings.
But the Kings are on a 3rd and 4. So this is like a bad rest spot on the road for the Sacramento Kings. Nuggets early in the season, off of this loss, probably cranky, pissed off after that Rockets game.
Yeah.
Come in. I think they take care of business. I think they beat the Kings.
If they do win the Kings game, then that's 3-0 versus the Kings. Do
you think it's a loss?
Second night of it. Well, so here's the thing. If you lose on the front end of the back-to-back, Denver was so good this last year on capitalizing, bouncing back, and then taking it. A lot of that, I think, was actually tied to Russell Westbrook, but it's still a Nikola Jokic team, and he's going to play.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially, again, early in the season, I think this isn't a concern. So they should beat the Kings.
Yeah, it seems perfectly reasonable. Then they go on the road again, quick one-game trip to Memphis on Monday, November 24th.
Yeah, so this is a 3rd and 4. Now I have Denver. I have this as a coin flip. It's literally 50.04% in Denver's favor. But I actually think Memphis is going to be really good this year,
Mm.
and I think Memphis is going to be able to push pace and probably catch them with some dead legs here. I actually think this is probably a loss.
I think that's probably reasonable. Like it seems like Memphis is going to play pretty hard in situations like these, and Denver's probably going to there's going to be ones where they don't necessarily get it. This could be one of those quick trips. So L there. Then they come home. They've got a couple days off before facing the San Antonio Spurs. Actually,
Yeah, so this is a great rest spot. 4 days rest
Yeah.
here facing the Spurs. These games were awesome last year and classics, which probably should have told us a lot about how Denver wasn't good enough because the Spurs weren't actually very good last year.
yeah, that's fair.
And I don't think that they're much better this year. I don't think that just adding Dylan Harper is going to be enough to get them to level up. Wemby might be better, but I don't know how much better. I think, especially with the rest advantage, I think Denver takes care of business here and gets the win.
I like it. I think it's perfectly makes sense. There will be some times where they don't take advantage of this rest, but I think that might have also been a last year thing as opposed to a this year thing. Then they have another back-to-back after a long rest, back-to-back at Phoenix.
Suns on a 3rd and 4 back-to-back for this one. But one of their back-to-back games is actually against a 3rd and 4 back-to-back. Like this is, now that we're getting into the details of this is like taking some of the sting off of some of the
I would say so.
That
Also, not a long flight for what it's worth.
Yeah, like this is actually really pretty good, and maybe take some of the fear off of people that freaked out over the schedule when it came out.
Who would do such a thing?
This is a dub. So I like the Suns, but like it's Mark Williams, Nick Richards, and Oso Iguodala, who I love, but like they're gonna get killed by Jokic. He's gonna destroy them. Nuggets roll.
I like it. I think it makes perfect sense. Monday, they're turning the calendar into December 1st versus the Dallas Mavericks. They got a couple days off.
I mean, I think this is a win. I don't think Dallas is going to be very good. Like I have the 75% Nuggets. I just don't think that they have enough firepower. I don't think you can slow down this offense with that defensive front court. Maybe Davis gets the better of him in a different jersey, but I can't really believe it.
He's not going to play Jokic. He's going to play Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, that's true. And so Gafford gets murdered by Yoke. I don't like this matchup. I didn't like this matchup when they had Luka. I'm not going to like it when they don't.
I will say the defense that Denver will be facing in this game against Dallas, that is a tough defense. But if you're going to attack D'Angelo Russell, if you're going to attack Klay Thompson on the perimeter, there are some opportunities with those guys. So as long as Denver spacing's okay.
It's a 3rd and 4 for both teams, by the way.
Man, okay. Well, could be worse, right? Like,
yeah.
I think, honestly, advantage Denver in those situations over Dallas, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Wednesday, December 3rd, my birthday, at the Indiana Pacers. They start a 3-game road trip.
Happy birthday, Ryan. They get revenge on this one. They're mad about losing the Pacers at home, and they get the win on the road here.
Good call. They'll be a little bit more prepared for this one. Then they travel down to Atlanta on a Friday, one day off in between that.
This one's tough. This one feels like it might be a trap game. But like
one of these next two, right?
Yeah, but like their centers are either Porzingis if he's healthy and playing, or Okongwu, and that's not
Porzingis can bomb away for like 6 threes in this game.
Yeah, and like Jalen Johnson's a pretty good matchup against AG, and you got Dyson to bother Jamal.
Yeah,
like the matchups as good. They clocked them in that game after the Wizards game last year, and that was a really impressive performance. But I think Atlanta's gonna be better this year. I'll go ahead and give. I do not have this by numbers. I have Nuggets 67%. But I'll go ahead and I'll give Denver, I'll give them the loss here based off of Eastern Conference. Hawks will be better. We'll take the random Eastern Conference loss.
They can't win every Eastern Conference game. Even I am like they can't win every single one. So we'll see. They'll make up for it in Charlotte, I assume.
Yeah, they're starting Moussa Diabate. So I have the Hornets at 14% chance to win this game.
I had them starting Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, maybe. Moose is better, but yeah, this is gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be like 140 to 130, but Nuggets should win with more firepower.
Shout out to Mason Plumlee, who blocked me on Twitter back in 2020. Which I don't blame him for what it's worth. I was complaining about the non-Jokic minutes. Then you've got this in-season gap. There will be a couple of games that are played here.
We just don't know them yet.
We just don't know what they are. I don't want to predict what we don't know. So we'll pass over that. But then Denver plays December 18th at home versus the Orlando Magic. Should
Boy,
be some days off in between.
This is don't love this one.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a really good game. But I've still got. I'm gonna look. I've got Denver at 65% to win this game, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that they win the game. This could be a tight one though.
Yeah, Orlando also one of those teams that can physically match up with Denver when they're healthy. That's very rare. Like other than Wendell Carter Jr., like Paolo Banchero is going to be a tough matchup for AG, guys like that. So it'll be interesting, but we'll count it as a win for now. Then Saturday, December 20th versus Houston. This is an afternoon game.
It's 1+ rest it's 1 day rest for both teams. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going to give it a dub. I think
we have them losing the first matchup.
Yeah, it's one where you'd like to see them bounce back at home. Whether they actually will or not remains to be seen. But like Houston gave them problems last year. They're a really high effort team. They executed really well, and Denver just like the only time that Denver actually won was in game 82, I believe.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if Houston won this regular season series.
I think they go 1-1 versus Orlando and Houston. You pick which one it is.
All right. Well, I think that they're going to get the Orlando win, so I'll take the loss versus the Rockets at home.
Okay, that'll set off some alarm bells
and set the narrative that like, Nuggets are 0-2.
Do the Rockets have the Nuggets number?
Yeah, Jackson
Gatlin have Jokic's
Jackson Gatlin's
number?
Chirping at Locked On Rockets. Yeah, I can see that.
Great. Monday, December 22nd versus Utah.
Too early in the season for a look ahead. They take care of business.
Then they go road back-to-back at Dallas.
But Dallas is on 3rd and 4 back-to-back too. Yeah. I'm giving them a win. I think they sweep versus Dallas.
Wow. Okay. We'll give it a
win.
win.
Me on it. I won't fight you. It's a bad.
Okay.
Not a great rest spot.
It's not great. I don't feel great about that, but I will give you benefit of the doubt here. Tell you what, let's take another break. When we come back, we are going to tease the Christmas matchup versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All right, folks, before we get into OpenPhone, I wanted to make sure to point you down to the comments section or to the description. We are doing a survey and we want to hear from you. Locked On wants to hear from you. We're put together a survey to learn more about our listeners, make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. And everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. But now let's talk about OpenPhone. Excuse me. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had an urgent need, maybe for a plumber or a service provider. If the first person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business solution phone system built to streamline and scale your customer communications, all from an app on your phone or computer. OpenPhone lets you manage business calls and texts from a single app. That's the most important thing when you're trying to deal with a company like this. You want it to be easy. You want it to be manageable. OpenPhone will have it just on one app. That's all you need. OpenPhone is offering my listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedonnba. That's openphone.com/lockedonnba. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All right, back at it, folks. Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Let's wrap up this segment with the Christmas game in versus Minnesota, because Denver is at home for this one. This is the nightcap. The Denver officially gets the nightcap, the final game of the night. You've got to be happy about it. I know I'm happy about it. Denver plays the Minnesota Timberwolves. Matt, how do you see this one going?
It is the 3rd and 4.
as it seems to be.
But you get the whole day, so it's like the opposite of the Thunder playoff game.
Fair.
We have them losing the first one, winning the second one. This is such a coin flip. Like
it truly is one of those coin flip games. Yeah.
I'll give Minnesota the edge here with an extra day rest, with a little bit more rest.
Okay.
I'll give Minnesota the edge here. I think it could be an absolute classic game. Would not be surprised if it's an overtime game and I'm driving home at 3 a.m. and the ice and snow on 25.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly reasonable if that were to happen. I will give it an L as well. We'll agree on that one. Basically, whether it's the Dallas back-to-back or Minnesota at home, like that's 1-1 in those games. That's going to be tough. I think we should wrap up with this final 7-game road trip. Unless you want to go even further than that, if you want to go rapid.
No, that's good.
So Denver, December 27th, they'll get a day before they travel at Orlando. They're going across the country.
But Orlando's on a back-to-back.
How does this keep happening? That's wild.
We should have looked at the schedule.
I mean, well, it's hard. This is the thing with all of these permutations and combinations. It is really hard to figure out in a moment's notice when we want to react.
Yeah. So Orlando is on a back-to-back. And so I think probably somebody's sitting out. I think somebody's banged up and has to sit. And I'm going to give Denver the edge. I think Denver goes 2-0 versus Orlando. I think it's going to be close in both games, but I'm going to go ahead and give them the edge.
Play Orlando twice in 10 days, and they'll get the dub there. At Miami, they go from Orlando to Miami, but it's not even a back-to-back. They have one day off.
Yeah, Miami's on a 3-4, but I think this is probably it's close enough. Oh my God, I hadn't realized. Oh dear Lord.
Uh-oh.
Okay, they're going to take this loss. They're going to lose to Miami.
Okay.
Then look at the next game and when it is.
At Toronto.
They're doing New Year's in Toronto.
Well, I knew that one. I know, Matt, for a fact that Cleveland game on January 2nd is going to be a loss. Yep. You can cross that one off right now.
Yeah. So they get the win versus the Raptors, and then they go out for New Year's in Toronto.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna. But do they get the win in Miami?
No.
Okay. Loss in Miami, win in Toronto, then loss at Cleveland.
Yeah, loss at Cleveland. No
Definitely
question.
Loss at Cleveland. No back-to-back next. Then they've got at Brooklyn. That is a Sunday matinee game. That is a very early start.
Brooklyn's on a 3-4, but Brooklyn could have 6 months advance notice. Look, it's possible they lose this game because this is how the NBA is. Like, this is what's fun about doing the schedule is we're going to be like, oh yeah, they're going to win that game. And then a bunch of them, they're going to lose. But yeah, I cannot in good conscience say that the Denver Nuggets are going to lose to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. So yes, they beat the Nets.
Honestly, I think that's perfectly reasonable. But then they've got the rivalry game on Peacock, a back-to-back Monday night at Philadelphia 76ers. Does Embiid play?
3rd and 4 back-to-back. Sixers not on a back-to-back. Yes, Embiid plays. Yes, Embiid dominates. Yes, the Sixers win.
Sick. Gotta love it. It's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, Matt. All the narratives get set and I just know for a fact that when Philly comes to town in March, Embiid will not play.
Yep.
At Boston wraps up the road trip Wednesday, January 7th. It's 3 and 4 nights for Denver, but at Boston.
This is kind of tricky.
For what it's worth, they are currently 3 and 3 on this road trip heading into the 7th game.
Yeah. This could be like the nadir of the season here in early January.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Boston figures out it. Like Boston bombs from 3. Denver can't hit anything. And it's a frustrating end of the road trip.
That would be tough. That would be very frustrating. So now as we look at it, we have 35 games here. You know what? Let's keep running through. Let's go all the way through 41. And then we can make sure we're getting at least the first half.
Okay.
January 9th, they come back. They face the Atlanta Hawks.
It's a win.
Get a nice little bounce back after a couple games. That's the first, actually, no, not the first, the second 2-game losing streak that Denver has at this point. Then Milwaukee. It's
Yeah,
couple one day off there.
I've got Milwaukee is really good this season, but I still got Denver at 70% to win that game. I think that Milwaukee's had trouble with the matchup, and Brook Lopez is gone.
Yeah.
Like Miles Turner is not a better matchup than Brook. So yeah, Denver gets the win.
Yeah, because Jokic can just camp out on Miles Turner and just kind of hang out there. Like it'll be the same sort of matchup, but like Miles can't defend him the same way. Then Tuesday at New Orleans, they get a day off there, but starting that road trip again, that seems pretty iffy.
Yeah, that feels like a Bourbon Street flu game.
But didn't they already have one?
Yeah, okay. If they already have one, then
they
no.
did. Yeah.
Okay, then no. Then they win this one.
Yeah. And honestly, like as I've talked about this one before, New Orleans is a team that you want to play in January and February as opposed to in November because they'll be healthy in November. They will not be healthy in January.
Yep.
So sorry, guys. But then they play another back-to-back at the Dallas Mavericks.
3rd and 4 back-to-back. They're begging me to give them that. Fine. Yes, Dallas wins one game versus Denver.
That one looks like a national TV game as well, so it's perfect for the narrative to be set.
Yes.
Okay. That was 4 games. 2 more here. The Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets on a Saturday, Sunday back-to-back at Ball.
Both of those teams are on 3rd and 4 backto-backs in altitude. Dub. Okay. They beat the Wizards. Hey, this is a big deal for us. We are once again overlooking the Washington Wizards.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Matt, we have them currently 27 and 14 through 41 games.
Pretty good.
That is on pace for 54 wins.
Pretty good.
Who could have foreseen?
Pretty good. Like it.
So
I like it.
Let's wrap up with this. If Denver's at 27 and 14 midway through the season, how do you think fans will react? What do you think will be the vibe at that point of the year?
Happy. There'll be some, like, our comments will still be like, hey, they really need to do this. Like, the front office still needs to get this. They got to get another point guard. Why is Jamal doing this? Why isn't Jamal doing that?
Yeah.
One of the guys that they signed, it'll be like, why did we get this guy? Should have never gotten him. Washed, terrible, etc.
Yeah, like Tim Hardaway shooting 32% from 3 as opposed to 37.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
So those kind of things, like, we'll still be happy. Like, it's good enough to where not everybody's happy and thrilled, but people are like, okay, all right, we're in it. And that's enough to keep everybody, like, it's better vibes, but still very focused on what needs to get done.
But the way you framed it and the way we've talked about it before was that Denver just kind of had to get through the first 55, 60 games of the season and just get to March when the schedule kind of eases up and they get a whole bunch of home games. So there is at least a possibility that comes to pass. But the way that we've talked about it, it's not that bad from a rest standpoint for Denver versus other teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things here, right? It's like we looked at all these back-to-backs, but it's like, who are they against? And then what's the rest situation for the opponent? Because if you're facing a team that is not terrible, but is worse than you are, and they're in a bad rest spot, it's not as much of an edge. It's just not.
100%. Well, folks, we will continue a part 2 of this in a future episode. Very excited to take care of this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Nuggets. We'll catch you up with part 2 very soon.